suddenly cross over to Delhi, which is the epicenter, you get a unique culture which is neither of any of them.
Delhi has been no one's, but it's just a place where people have come and they've made Delhi their house or the place where they stay. But Sia Park is that place where right after partition, it was given to Bengali people. The identity, Chitranjan Park, the name is on the freedom fighter.
I don't think there is any other colony in Delhi which will give you a feel of mini Calcutta, right? When you think of Durga Puja, you think of Sia Park. Like, there's not any other place which will come to mind, right?
But then Sia Park is so much more than just those 4-5 days of Durga Puja, right?
Market 1 and Market 2 and the Mandir here. Fish market is like the holy grail.
You get the best fish in CR Park, and people from Delhi in different areas come here to this market, and it's always very crowded in the evening. So a lot of people buy a cup of tea there, they hang around, there's a lot of chit chat, everyone socializing. It's always buzzing.
The layout is still beautiful because it has a profusion of parks and convenience stores and shops and markets. It's a properly planned place.
It's very central. It's well connected. It's close to malls, hospitals, schools, to Nehru Place, temples around the place.
Trees on the two edges of the road, and how they would just meet and form this little, covering.
The greenery, the houses, each and every house have a lot of plants and trees.
As a parent, I and Juma felt that making your children grow up in Sia Park would be the best place in Delhi. All the sounds, food, entertainment, friends, games. Both of us felt very seriously that it would give them a wholesome experience.
So basically, there is a sense of community which is rare to find in Delhi.
I am from CR Park basically. That's about 55 years ago. 69 we shifted to CR Park. My whole childhood, even in adulthood also. So basically I would say 50 years of my life I've lived there. So it is close to my heart.
We started to live in CR Park in the early 80s and we continue to live here. We moved a few times in different blocks, and our first home that has the most memories. We lived there for the longest in a joint family, and my brother, 2 sisters and my son got married while living in this home. It's even more special since my daughter was born there.
It's a place where my family, my Ruchira, you grew up, Chuma was there, the memories of my working life, my children and my wife.
I've moved houses within CR Park a few times, but essentially it has been CR Park all along.
No matter wherever, outside Sia Park I go, the reason I'll be coming back is because my parents are here. So the first thing I'll see or feel is them. Always.
I still love my old home. I've actually literally made like a memory sketch of my older house, the one that was made by my nanu and my nani. Those memories are irreplaceable. Like, I cannot tell you how many memories that house had, like, for me. From my growing, like my upbringing was in that house.
I was born in CR Park and continue to live here till date. I get why my family chose to stay here for so long. It's the vibe.
I still remember my nani used to play. Every morning she used to put on her tape recorder and only Robindra Sangeet used to be in our house. That's the background music you're living with. That's the background music you're growing with. So at some point or the other, naturally or directly or indirectly, music becomes like an inducing factor in your life.
Yes, of course, Rabindra Sangeet is the heart and soul of the culture. But I feel Bengalis in general have this appreciation for music, art, and varied genres of music.
We are a musical family, and I think that was a commonality we shared with the Bengali community here. I feel the community looks at the arts as a life skill to be enhanced rather than just, something for mere entertainment. And this is something that resonated very well with my family. Living in a neighborhood that resonates your likes, well, what more would one want?
My first music teacher, Ghosh sir, yes, was from CR Park, and he used to teach at behind Rajoli's house. Although his forte was Ravindra Sangeet and in fact playing the harmonium, but with whatever knowledge of the harmonium he had, he managed to teach me keyboard and not just Bengali songs. I did start out with Bengali songs, but the funny thing is, he taught me to play Suri by Beethoven.
So my granddad also passed away at an early age, and it was his dream to like have his own, say, art gallery. So my dad always had this wish as a child that he would want to like have an art gallery of his own. So when we actually bought this house, it was actually specifically designed in a way that we would always have a basement, and the basement would be converted into an art gallery.
It was a single story house. I remember the gate. So daddy would paint the gate and the grill of the house, the doors of the house also. As we would enter, we had a huge guava tree there next to the gate.
I think the major plus point of that house was the angan, porch area. We used to always play cricket in that porch area and break windows. Porch area being retained was definitely a great thing. My nanny put all her plants outside, so she literally made it into a bagan. uh, so which is still there because it's a legacy. So we are trying to keep that.
We have our own garden. We try to like grow our own veggies and like flowers and stuff. So I think it's like a really ideal comfort home. Grandfather is much into gardening, and I remember, from what I remember, that we had like a guava tree and pomegranate, and there was a little bit of like backyard farm happening in the houses, and yeah, it was just beautiful. But now that like I was talking, how these houses look like blocks of Legoland, we don't really have place of having like ingrown gardening happening.
What is the first thing you hear when you think of CR Park? Sitting in my house, I and your auntie used to hear the chirpings and the most exotic birds.
Apart from that, I used to like the Khudiram Boat Park, which is the canopy covered and the different kind of key species that were there, and it was just a distinct area in Kia Park altogether. I mean, like when you enter that park, there is the backyard of Shiv Mandir. It's beautiful. It's like on a slope of a hill. And when you look up in the sky, all you can see is the tree leaves and the branches. So the sky it's not visible. It has got such, dense, it has a very foresty feeling.
And CR Park also, of course, everybody has memories of Durga Puja. We always looked forward to it, and it was the best time in Chitranjan Park. So much festivity, food, cultural programs in various blocks. It was like a competition.
And you would hear a lot of bells and noises of shank and different instruments that they use for doing the puja, the dhols and everything.
The dhakis playing up their drums and the beat, that is the vibe of Kia Park. This is like something unique from Kia Park. But apart from that, like the sound of the cars honking is also, you cannot escape that. That's part of Kia Park now.
The first thing I hear is the sound of that shank, I mean, not just from the temples, but even in my neighborhood, from the houses around, especially in the evenings.
Mom would in fact say that as a kid, whenever I would cry, that ghanti would like ring and I'd be calm. The Shiv Mandir ki ghanti, because when we were staying here on top of like Sabi's house, the mandir was like right across, and I would hear that ghanti for years every morning and evening.
You go around Delhi speaking in Hindi or English, step into CR Park, and it's like the sound of a third language will just take over. You hear transactions happening in Bengali in the markets. When I was a kid, I remember the music store in the market. The owner would be playing this beautiful Bengali music throughout the day. But that would be the general vibe of the markets.
পুঁটি মাছের ভাজার মুগের ডাল 1.5 কিলো করে চালের ভাত
ये बनाना स्टैम्प है,
मासा है
ये काकरोल है,
पॉपलेट है
गंधराज नींबू है,
रोहू है
छोटा छोटा कटहल है,
छिंगाड़ा है
ये व्हाइट वाला बैगन है,
कलकत्ता वाला भेटकी है
और ये बनाना फ्लेवर।
चार बनाने में काम आता है, दाल तड़का में काम आता है।
You have a lot of these typical Bengali things available in the markets of Singapore. There's a ghee called Chhonna ghee.
Kashundi.
Patali jaggery.
Like a lot of Bengalis who come from, different places in India or the world, sort of gushes over having Bengali food in Kolkata. But I don't gush over because I have practically all of them in Delhi.
Which is your favorite out of all of these?
Jhalmuri,
Why do you like jhalmuri?
because it's made very well. It's made of muri
Puffed rice. Typical Bengali jhalmuri has kabuli chana.
and onions and chilies and different type of spices and coconut, potato.
Mustard oil, chana juice, which has peanuts. Jhalmuri is something which has been constant.
They mix it up in a nice box and shake it up and put it in a paper packet and give it to you.
So imagine biting into like a slightly crisp roti, a paratha, which is tawa fried. The meat itself was so flavorful, onions and green chutney and some sauce, the tomato ketchup and kashundi. Oh yeah, wow. So the first thing that comes to my mind is spicy, chatpata, just the correct mix of tanginess and spice.
Without doubt, my all-time favorite snack since I was a child has been puchkas. Oh my gosh, puchkas. They mash the aloo, and then when they start adding all the spices, chili, of course, a lot of dhania, black salt, chaat masala, and then each puchka wala will have his own version of mixed masala. Chana, immense amounts of tamarind, right? That that's the base ingredient of that water, and then of course a lot of lemon put into it, coriander, fresh herbs, all of that, and a lot of masala, and it'll be chilled to perfection to cool you down. It's khatta meetha basically, which is sweet sour.
I like the Bengali version of Golgappa, which is fuchka. It has, that Gondho Lebu. It's like the big lime, that big dark green lime. And that's a very typical Bengali thing that used to be grown in every other house. Even I had one.
I loved impersonating the puchkawala when I was a kid. So sometimes when the waiting line would be too long in the market, you could just pack the ingredients and bring it home. So everyone in my family knew I always played the server. So I would make everyone stand in a line and serve them their puchkas in whichever way they wanted. So some would like it on a plate, with just the stuffing. Some would like it with just the stuffing and very little water, and then some would like it in like a more traditional way, which is you put the stuffing and you dip the puchka in the water and give it in a bowl. Whichever way you do it, you have to be very fast because it's almost like an assembly line production. So for me as a child to be play acting like a scene from the market within the home was quite exciting. It was like my little version of house. It was so much fun and super super exciting, and it's such a sweet memory that I have from my childhood.
That Mughlai paratha. That is also something I thoroughly enjoyed. But again, I knew it was like fried whenever I would see it getting fried, in that huge patila of oil. So yeah, that's something I used to indulge in a few times. So that was like the best Mughlai paratha I have had till date. Because perfect crunch on the outside. Perfect. And it was always so hot. I mean, it was so tasty that I could never wait for it to say cool down to a okay temperature for me to actually bite into it. I would always bite into it, burn my tongue. Yet I would bite again, enjoy it again, the same way. That's how I used to eat it. Always bite into it, burn my tongue. Very, very yummy filling. I think it was chicken only. Yeah, chicken mince and onions and a nice spicy filling. But the texture of it overall, I really love. It's crunchy on the outside and nice soft filling inside.
I mean, Dadu's cutlet is just next to Annapurna Sweets, no?
पूना मार्केट के आपका मिलन केमिस्ट के बाद अन्नपूर्णा का था, अन्नपूर्णा का तो मिलन केमिस्ट था। अब उस टाइम तो छोटे थे, ठीक है, तो आप देखेंगे।
तो जब पुराना मार्केट था तो तब आपका दुकान कहाँ पे था? यहीं पे?
रोड साइड पे था।
हाँ। तो मतलब एकदम सड़क के सामने।
So like I mentioned, no, on rainy days, like we would stop by and just run into one of those thatched shops and maybe pick up a cutlet and eat or something like that. It used to be. Right. We would enjoy the rains also and enjoying the tea and the cutlet out there.
I like the vegetable chop, which is made from beetroot and peanuts. Dadu cutlet was very famous. And of course, I like the onion and the potato pakoda. And also I like the rasgulla. But they have a variety of sweets to die for. And you would see people buying something sweet and something salted. Most of the time they'll take dadu cutlet and they'll go to the sweet shop and then they'll pack a little bit of sweet. So that's the snack before dinner time. Everyone you met there recognized who you were. So you had a conversation, just moving through the market.
I remember as a kid, I used to love this Bengali mithai called Lobongon Lotika. It's a square-shaped mithai. The outer part is like deep fried in a way, okay? And long, right? So the filling is made with kheer, and in the middle there's a long. So hence it's called as long latika.
And even Annapurna Sweets, that old man who was there, he's no more there now. I see his picture there on the wall. So, but his workers are still continuing. I love the sweets, especially the lot chum. It's a very mild sweet. It has a mild flavor to it. It's not as sweet as rasgulla and all that. And it's creamy. I like that.
But I'm not so much into sweet. But yes, I love the mishti doi from time to time.
As a true Bengali would say, the Adda spot for our group has mostly been first number market. One of our favorite spot backside of. I feel that space became important or became an essential area just to hang out because everybody, it has an influence of the other people who also come there, right? So everybody's just started randomly coming and sitting there and be like, oh, let's have chai every day. It became a routine. So a space that becomes a part of routine becomes your most, goes as like one of the most important spaces to actually, go and meet people. And every time after work, I know that one spot I will always check. The cooler, the earthiness of that cooler that has a very small part of the flavor of the chai. The space and the chai together became one. So that was the taste. Like that area, just sitting there and having the chai is the taste, not the chai in itself also.
Bengali dish.
तो आपको किसने सिखाया ये बनाना?
ये तो मम्मी बनाती है, हम दूसरे सर्व करते हैं, मेरी मॉम बनाती है।
और इसका इंग्रेडिएंट्स क्या है?
इंग्रेडिएंट्स इधर आपको घर आना पड़ेगा।
ये भजा हुआ बैंगन है।
आर यूएसपी इज दैट कि घर जैसा खाना, लाइट होना चाहिए और रेगुलर बेस पे खाना हमारे पेट को अच्छा लगना चाहिए।
फूल भाजा, बेगुनी, आलू भाजा, रेड डाल, ये सारा बांग्लादेश का ही है।
माछी टिकट बड़ा बांग्लाते बना, मैंने मछली का अंडे का पकौड़ा, पीसेक पकौड़ा।
तो मेरा जो नेटिव प्लेस है वो है आपको कुमिल्ला, बांग्लादेश में कुमिल्ला डिस्ट्रिक्ट है कुमिल्ला। वहाँ से 64 में आए, ये आपको त्रिपुरा स्टेट, त्रिपुरा से फिर हम लोग आए बिहार, रिफ्यूजी बन के। वहाँ हम लोगों को ये पूर्णिया डिस्ट्रिक्ट था, तब अभी तो किशनगंज है, किशनगंज में हम लोग अभी रह रहे हैं। मैं 75 में दिल्ली आया। और ये पातुरी, आप इलिश पातुरी हो गया, सरसों मस्टर्ड और मस्टर्ड को पेस्ट करके उसमें आपको हरी मिर्च और थोड़ी नमक, उसको भी पेस्ट कर देते हैं उसके मस्टर्ड के साथ में, सरसों के साथ में पेस्ट करके फिर उसको केले के पत्ते में ये करके
আমি একটা ছোট্ট গান গেয়ে শোনাচ্ছি,
বাংলা গান গিয়ে শোনা।
বাংলা গান গেয়ে শোনাচ্ছি। যদি তোর ডাক শুনে কেউ না আসে তবে একলা চলো রে, একলা চলো, একলা চলো, একলা চলো রে। যদি তোর ডাক শুনে কেউ না আসে তবে একলা চলো রে।